What up? Welcome to another episode of What's Your Grails. I'm your host Tony Sanders, and with me tonight is Dee Runk Comics. How you
Hey,
doing
how's it going,
tonight?
man? Good, man. How are you?
All right, man. Good to have you on, man.
Yeah.
So, as usual, I start the show asking my guests, what do you consider to be your holy grail in collecting? Like the book that to you could be like unattainable, but still like you look at it like, yeah, I need to get that.
Uh, One that I don't have. I really want to get an X-Men #1. Um,
In the same boat.
yeah, and and the crappy part about that is like I've been saving for that, and I could smell it, like it was within my reach, and
Oh,
then my water heater broke inside my house,
oh man.
and like I love having my house, but I really missed living in an apartment at that moment because if
Yeah,
I was in an apartment,
they'd have
I'd
to
have
fix.
taken a cold shower for a couple days and they'd have took care of it and I'd have had my X-Men book.
Oh,
But
believe me, I feel you because like earlier this year, I had to drop about 6 grand on the air conditioning, the whole shebang. So, needless to say, like it was worth it. But that's like I always look at it like, man, that's like 2 Grail books, or 2 or 3 Grail books, or depending on how you deal it out.
yeah,
But yeah, that X-Men one, man, it eludes me too. As you can see back here, I've got a few X-Men books, but
oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's one that's yeah, my whole. I think that is my holy grail. I'd say because it used to be giant size X-Men, then I ended up getting one of those in a shady Walmart deal.
I
But
saw you
yeah,
talking about that though. You get see, I used to work for Walmart and we had a Craigslist purchase go bad in our parking lot where
oh wow,
uh, shots were fired. No one was hit, but someone tried to rob, a guy, and that guy came armed,
oh
and
man,
and he said he missed on purpose. He just wanted to, get
scare
them
'em.
to, yeah, get them away. But man, like, really, I'm like 200 feet away from, bullets and whatnot. Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
don't like to do that.
it goes off in the grocery store.
Oh yeah.
So what book do you got to show us first off? Because like a lot of people love to see the first book.
Um, so we talk about Grail that I don't have. My Grail that I do have that is just priceless to me is my Action Comics 1000 with a Dan Jurgens custom sketch.
Man, Dan Jurgens is the man in DC.
Yeah,
That's like respect to Dan Jurgens.
yeah. So, and it's kind of a cool story. So, I, I got this one, where he autographed it, and this is all at a Minnesota convention. He's from Minnesota, and I'm looking at buying one of these, and I see that it's autographed, and I go to ask him like, how do I know it's really autographed? And like before I could even finish the sentence, I realized it was him selling the book. And I was like, oh, I'll just shut up. So I
Yeah.
see him drawing on a blank sketch cover. And this is before I've really gotten back into collecting. I just kind of went to the convention for the fun of it. And, like I was like, oh, can I buy that? And he's like, oh, this is a commission thing, man. You gotta hit me up in advance. And so I bid my time for a whole year, trying to find the right book. And then I found out Action 1000 was going to have a sketch cover, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. And yeah, man, I wanted him to do the Death of Superman cape and have him hold it like it was the American flag. And that,
That
to
is
me,
cool.
the only regret is I wish he would have done the mullet Superman. But
Oh yeah, the long one. I'm like, dude, the black. So speak. You just showed the death of Superman. Here's mine. This is my Superman grail. I have to send this to EGS and get this verified because like I don't know. I don't know what color label I want to get with it, but like I've been holding on to this for a while. And this is my Death of Superman, and this is signed by Jerry Ordway. All right, I got the. Here's the COA, dude. The COA. Here we go. It's signed by. See, look at all those names on that. That's
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah.
Signed by Dan Jurgens, Louis Simonson, Mike Carlin, Jerry Ordway, and John Bogadamina. I can't. Well, here I'll just like. There you go.
Boom.
There you go. Signed by all these people right there. So yeah. So if I send it to CBCS, I'd be paying a hefty chunk just to get this
Yeah.
authenticated. But so if I send it to EGS, I don't know. I just what. Plus they got the cool labels, so you know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this
I,
is my Superman Grail right here because like much respect to Superman. I don't care what people says. He would like comic head and everybody else be mad, but I say he would like straight up one shot Batman if he wanted to.
oh yeah. I mean, there's a book where Superman is being mind controlled by Maxwell Lord, and Batman has no prep time.
Oh no,
Superman Superman thinks that he's like Metallo or Mongol or something, and he just smokes him. It's like a 30-second ordeal, and it wasn't even close. So
yeah.
yeah,
And the first appearance of Maxwell Lord, yo, look into that because speaking of
yeah.
Dan Jurgens, Booster Gold, there is Booster Gold #1 signed by Dan Jurgens, but there is like supposed to be like a Booster Gold movie in the works, and I'm assuming that he would be the villain because Maxwell Lord is kind of like the guy that kills Booster Gold's best friend. So
Yeah.
so I would like to see that movie happen. But like, yeah, that's my other Dan Jurgens signature. So,
How's our chat doing?
oh yeah, let me give a few shout outs. We got JP's Budget Collecting, Mr. Gretzky, Ben Compton, Bear Island Comics, the Immortal Biggie Shaq, and I thought I've seen somebody else in here. What was it? Oh, Highly a Comic Bro, Kachoon, and also we have. I thought I've seen that loudmouth. YouTube is 90. So,
So
oh, there he is.
right on cue, man.
Yeah.
Right when you're called, you come running. So you had Kachun. He asked an interesting question. He goes, "Is this really Dee Runk or Bear Island in Dee Runk cosplay? Because Bear Island claims he can do a Dee Runk cosplay, and there's one way. There's only one way to tell the difference if we both have our clothes on, and that is there is a 9.8 in front on top of that Batgirl back here. He only has the 9.6, so that's how you can tell that this is the authentic, the original, real deal McCoy Dee Runk Comics coming at you.
He said shots fired. 9-6.
Hey, me and Bear, we're gonna make a whole YouTube career off of messing with each other. That's just how we have fun, I showed that book off to like rub it in on him, and then he got the first ever Batgirl appearance in that in the Spider-Man booth grand prize,
Oh yeah.
and he just called me out on it right in his freaking video. It wasn't a live stream even. He recorded a segment deliberately to get me, and we just been going back and forth ever since. It's a lot.
Oh man, that's good. Bear Hollis said, "I hate you, D-Rock, but darn it, I do respect you." So,
Uh,
like lately, I've been picking up like, all right, so DC, like, I'm getting kind of mad because like I've been reading the Flash Year 1, and like it's been selling out in my area, and it's been ticking me off. And so like it's like I have to either get it on eBay sometimes or I have to hunt it down, and it's like it's killing me. And it's like so lately I've been like I like the CW show. I like the Flash. That show I like the show.
mhm.
The actor they still should have gave like I don't know, man. I'm a firm believer of if a guy is killing it on a TV show as that character, let him do the movie role. Let him try the
Absolutely.
movie. Like I'm like, let him try the movie role. What could it hurt? And it's like so, but like so I picked this up. This is Flash 117, and this is also another kind of a not really a spec book because the movie already came out, but they're making another one, Suicide Squad 2. But this is the first appearance of Captain Boomerang, Flash 117. I just like the cover of that.
Oh yeah.
and it's like oh yeah, what's ridiculous though is like the first appearance of Captain Cold. Woof, that's ridiculous, boy. I was looking at that and I was like, man, I'd like to get that. Heat Wave's like way cheap to get. Like it's not real bad, but right now the Trickster too, like Trickster's not bad, but
So I have a book that relates, but I left it downstairs, and I want to run and go grab it real quick.
oh
Can
yeah,
you
go
get
ahead.
it?
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
You killed 45 seconds of time, and I'll be right back.
I am a master of stalling people. So I will wow the crowd with some more books that I don't know that I just like have. Well, everybody's seen a lot of these, but this is one that I got from Thorough Q Burrow and signed by Tom King, and I just like the cover of this. It's Batman Rebirth 1, 9.8, and I showed it on Instagram, but like I never showed it like I don't think on here, but yeah, this is a Batman, and I don't hate Batman like if I had a choice between Batman and Iron Man, I'm picking Iron Man. It's like I don't know. It's like Batman's cool. Like he's more broody, like goth. I don't know. I don't know. Like he's like John Wick basically. He's like John Wick. He's a badass, just straight up badass John Wick. Something like that. All right. Movie comparison. All right. So he's like John Wick, and like I like Tony Stark. He's more like James Bond. So that's the comparison, movie comparison. There you go. So if anybody ever asks you what's the difference between Batman and Iron Man, be like John Wick, James Bond. There you go. And
All
if
right,
you,
I'm back, and I'm out of breath.
oh,
But
you good?
so my first appearance for the Flash TV show, first appearance of Killer Frost,
Oh, I got
and
that, but it's not signed, and that's sweet. It's a 9.6. Who's it
and
signed by?
Danielle Panabaker, the actress that plays her on the TV show.
Dang, that is cool.
Yeah, this is that book I was telling you about before we went on. That is a 9.6, but has no graders notes available anywhere.
To let you know that, like, that's weird, though. Like, that's like, because on that, on the Avengers 12, like I said, it told me it had like a stress line down the spine that broke color. So it was like,
Yeah,
there's no way, even if I pressed it, it'd still be a 9.6. So just leave it alone.
yeah,
But like, that's weird that it told me that, but it won't tell you what your problem is.
yeah. I think it's a tiny spine roll issue. But yeah, I mean it's a beautiful newsstand. It's got crisp corners. It's white pages. So you know what? There's a little smudge on the back. I think that might be it. But whatever.
Still a clean book though, like cleaner than
Oh,
my copy. Oh yeah,
so,
and shouts out to Burke Family 54 Comics, and thank you. Yes, yeah, I did hit 1K, and shouts out to Discovery Bay. He makes everything possible. That's your man. It's a mouthful to say that. I did it when he was on here though. I did it without like even messing up. your
like
YouTube comic community guide. Ha!
yeah, no. And the live episode today was great too. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like. That's what I tell people. Like going live, like it's funny because it's like one of my like my last two videos, like my mic would mess up or something. I don't know. Like my son bumped it once and then it went out, and then like another time it just cut out for some weird reason. I don't know. New mics are weird. I don't. It's supposed to be like it's wireless or whatever, so I can walk through my house with it or whatever. But I don't know, man. It's like it's. I kind of miss my old one, which is sitting over here, and like how you have something that's like old and going out, but it's still trustworthy.
oh yeah, no, it's Old Faithful, man. You gotta. It's hard to break away from them.
Oh, did Discovery say he had no mic for? Or was it me with no mic for 4 minutes, or was it him? I don't know.
I think
I
it was
have.
him. He was. Yeah, there was some audio issues at one point during
Yeah,
the.
yeah. Don't worry, Discovery. It happens. I do it. I just keep rolling. I don't care. Like it's live, man. Like you're gonna mess up. If you don't mess up, you might as well not even go live. Like so. There. I'm gonna show the like. Oh no, I showed that book earlier, but let me show this book. This is my grail that I just like. This is cool. Like I've never like had this happen, but like, um, the dude is on Instagram. I showed this book on Instagram. I've talked about this book. It's Trill League. It's like hip hop Boondocks version of the Justice League. It's a 9.8. It's the only one on the census. I showed it on Instagram, and it's the only one ever. So it's the first one, even if anybody else gets one. So, but that's kind of cool. And yeah, it has a digital download. So like, if you don't want to buy the actual copy of it, you can get a $10 digital download and read it for yourself. And it's like hilarious, man. It's like if you enjoy Boondocks, if you enjoy like anything like it references Naruto, it references like Dragon Ball, it references anything that you're into, man. It talks about it, and it's in this book. So I'm waiting for the next one that he's making because he made the first one, so he's making the second one right now. So
Hell yeah. So here's another one of my books I've always wanted. Like, just as long as I've wanted comic books. And I never went and pulled the trigger. And I got it as an A-OK without ever telling anyone that it was something that I really, really wanted. Look at this.
oh, that
Yeah,
was not,
I dropped a slab. Don't worry. It was just first appearance of Poison Ivy. No big deal.
all right. That's a cool book, but grab the slab. Is the
Yeah,
slab okay? Is there carpet down there?
it landed on my championship belt. So
Oh,
we're okay.
okay. We're good. We're good. Let's
Yeah.
see. So let's see that too. Oh
Oh
wait,
yeah.
let me click on there. Hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it looks okay. It's still a 5. It's a 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, no, it's a 5 now.
Oh, oh god.
I'm just playing. But yeah, that's a cool book too, because like, I like the one Batman like appearance that I always wanted to get was like, oh, he made the Comic Head reference, Discovery Bay. But was the first, well, not the first appearance of Two Face, but the first was it Silver Age appearance of Two Face, and where it's like Batman's tied to the boat or whatever, and there's that Two Face in the background. Like, forgot the number of that one, but that's one that I've always wanted. He said, "Barry loves this. The Ghost of '84 strikes." Hashtag free 84. Yes, free 84. That is crazy to me. Like I did not know. Like, shouts out to our brother in arms and community. He's a fallen soldier, a guy that was struck down too soon, as Comic Core would say, gone too soon. Uh, yeah, Comic Head 84, man, they did him in. Like, I guess they weren't. McMahon put the hammer on him. I guess McSand snitched him out.
The McSand can be a real biatch sometimes, I tell you what.
Yeah, man. Like,
Whoever that is.
yes. So yeah, yeah, Comic Kid, yeah. Hopefully, like, it's not that bad. So
Yeah, because the way I remember it, you got to get a couple dings before they strike you like that. But man,
yeah, but I didn't know. Like, it was just like
I really thought you had to be you had to be monetized to be penalized like that.
yeah,
Like 84 ain't making money, not yet off his YouTube channel, but he was probably on his way to doing it someday. But they'll let him back on. We got to like petition or something, do like a whitehouse.gov or something.
yeah. It's just crazy that happened though. Oh, let me find this one. Cause I know you'll like this one. No, not that one. Not that one.
Yeah, who dat 84 got banned from doing live streams for a little bit. But he can still post videos and he can be on other people's channels. But right now he's on a temporary live stream hiatus.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Found it. So this is a book that I bought because I bought it with eBay Bucks too. I bought it with eBay Bucks. I bought it because I just like the cover. I did not know that the artist Neil Adams hates the cover, but I love the cover. But I guess he hates it. But Superman 233, the infamous Breaking in the Chains, signed by Neil Adams, like one of my favorite covers. Well, he says he hates it because like the leg is, and I never, if you notice it, it's like a super long, like look, all right, like this is his leg. Now look. Now Look at that. Look.
Oh yeah.
So his leg is as long as his head to his body. So that's what Neil Adams is talking about. That. So as an artist, that's what he's talking about, like the proportionate. Like he's like this side is fine, but like they made him stretch the leg out that far to put this here. So he hates that picture, but I like it.
I also have an Action Comics Neil Adam trying to get a hold of. We're not dropping any more slabs tonight, guys.
Yes, no 84s.
Yeah. Very similar cover.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what is that? Wait. Hold on. Let me click. Oh, that's 485. I've never seen.
Yeah, this is the Whitman Jewelers variant.
Oh, the jeweler's variant. Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
and it came to me from a very charming fellow in the YouTube comic community. You probably haven't heard of him. His name is Discovery Bay. He does this thing every day that promotes all the other YouTubers out there.
Nah,
And
I never heard of that guy.
it was in one of the auctions, and like I got it for way less than I think I should have. But like I did one of those things where we were talking about it before we went live,
You
where I just
dropped the
dropped the hammer right
drop the
away.
hammer. Yes,
And,
drop the
and
hammer.
everyone was like, "Oh shit, he can have it." Dee Runk, good job, bro.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta come into an auction. Like I don't know. Like that's what I do. Like an auction. Like when y'all do auctions, I'm watching. Y'all might not think I'm there, but I'm there watching. And then if I see something I like like you said, I'll drop the hammer. If like somebody's just playing, I'll be like, all right, time to drop the hammer. I want that book. So yeah, like yeah, like the jeweler variants, man. Those are like ridiculous whenever like people show them, and like, and it's like they're worth more than like the regular book itself.
Yeah. Well, in this one, um, it's 5.0, but it presents so much better than that because the back cover has got like it's not missing, but it's got a little tear in it,
Uh,
and but when it's up on a wall or something, you don't see the tear. You just see a beautiful, beautiful cover, and yeah, and his legs are cut off, above the knee, so you don't have that leg issue in this one.
yeah, see, I've never seen that one. That's kind of cool though. See, like you see something new every day, so
Man,
that's cool.
that was good. That was part of a lot too. He also, he had the issue where Superman does the porno with Big Barda.
Oh yeah,
Something
yeah.
like
Most people don't know that one. That's crazy too. That's a crazy issue. People don't know. Like that's a crazy. Like all right, stories like that are weird. All right, like that one, and like I need to do a video on that because that one. All right, the porno with Superman. Then you have the Invincible 110. I think it's 110. Yeah, the rape issue where he gets raped,
that.
and then the Avengers 200 where uh Carol Danvers gets raped by her unborn child as a grown man. That's like people are like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
No, there. That's a dark one, man. That
yeah, and like the Avengers are just sitting around like, "Yeah, go, yeah, it's cool, don't, yeah, whatever, okay, rape, nah." So
yeah,
it's
that
like the weirdest like story ever. Like, and if you've never read Avengers 200, yeah, so I like the one I have. It's like signed on the inside by George Perez, which I kind of think is funny. It's like,
well, and people, like they talk about, the refrigerator with Kyle Rayner's girlfriend. Like, it's like a terrible moment for women in comics. Like, man, that's not even on the top 10. Like, yeah, Carol Danvers raped by future son. Like,
yeah, and nobody says nothing about it. Like when they say like terrible moments in comics, nobody brings that up, and I'm like, it's 200. Like how could you miss it? And shouts out to DS Comics, King Triton. That's one of my old gaming buddies. The joke is all right because like I said before, I used to play a DC Universe online, and
yeah, me too.
uh, like my character was like it was Quantum X, and like my character was kind of based on the Captain Marvel, the Genesis Vol, the one that had like the star body or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, so it was based on him. And my character never wore pants. And like the whole time I played the game, I never wore pants. My friends, it drove them crazy. They would always say, "Put pants on, dude." And so like one time were just like playing the game, and everybody took their pants off, and we were just playing the game, and like they were like running around with no pants. And I was like, and like they were so that's what like my character was kind of funny, famously famous for because I would never wear pants on the game.
that game's like opening cinematic moment is just
Oh
one
man,
of the coolest like 5 minutes of comic book action you'll ever see. So if you haven't looked at DC Universe Online cinematic trailer, do yourself a favor when this is over with and check that out because that is just
yeah, it's a jerker, boy. You're like, whoa.
yeah.
It's like, so where's that one at that I had?
So I'll show this one while you're looking.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
go ahead.
got my Uncanny X-Men number 266 in a 9/8. That
Oh,
was one that I'm proud of this one because I submitted it myself and did a pressing just to make sure. But yeah, getting a 9/8 Gambit, and I'm just cannot wait to see him appear in a Marvel Comics movie. My $400-ish book here will be at
like,
least 1200.
I thought they were gonna do like the what was it, the Channing Tatum movie or whatever, and they like didn't they back out of it, or he backed out, or somebody backed out of it?
It went into like that development hell where they
Uh,
just the studio had an issue, and then Tatum had other movies to make. He's not just gonna sit at
sit
home.
around and wait.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm okay with that. I like Channing Tatum as an actor. I think it could have been good, but I trust Marvel's casting prowess, and at one point we're gonna get to see the Raging Cajun in a movie, and that, oh man, I'm gonna have a good day that day.
that is true. So, so let me show this one real quick. It's another DC iconic little cover that as a kid I remember looking at this as a kid, and I used to think that like it was a cool cover, and I never understood why there was two Flashes, but I just thought it was the coolest cover ever. And it's Flash 123, Flash of Two Worlds, where it's got and it's like the first mention of what was it?
The
Or
multiverse.
yeah, the multiverse thing or whatever. Yeah. So it's like their first mention of it or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Like the two, and there's like a homage. Oh, have you seen the Deceased 4 homage for this?
I haven't.
Oh, go look on Midtown Comics. Like Midtown Comics has a Deceased 4 homage of this book right here, and it's like a chick holding the Flash, and then like I think it's Zoom and somebody else running up to get him. But
Yeah,
like yeah,
I got the first uh, Midtown slab for an homage with Lois holding Superman, which is a beauty, and that one I submitted recently and got back at a 9/8. But
that is cool.
I'll have to check that out. I've actually been liking that story. I know it's not universally loved, but I mean, to me, it's not real heavy reading. It's a quick read, and I don't know, kind of fun in my opinion.
Oh yeah. That's-
So the name of the
Oh
show is going to change to "What's Tony's Grail and What's George's Frivolous Modern Purchase."
no, dude, modern grills are like all right. I'll show you a modern grill that like people don't like think it's a grill, but I would consider it to be a grill. Oh, there's two of them, but let me see. Hold on. What's that one? Oh, that's two. Oh, this yeah. Now I have the first one. I have Invincible number 1, but this is Invincible number 2. Now I bought this from and I submitted it myself. It came back a 9.6, and it probably could be pressed for a 9.8, but I don't care. But this is the first appearance of Rexplosion and Adam Eve, and Adam Eve is actually Invincible's baby mama, wife, whatever to be or whatever in the future. So, and with them talking about doing the Amazon rated R cartoon that they're coming out with on Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
this is a book that I would like look into, like because Invincible 1 and 2, because like this is her first appearance and that's his wife basically. She's gonna
Oh,
have his kid or whatever, and the guy doing the voice is gonna be Glenn from Walking Dead, Stephen Yeun.
oh, hell yeah.
So, So yeah, so look into that, man. So yeah, this is gonna be like a heating up book eventually. So
Biggie Shack asked me to bust out my strap, so I had to toss this little guy over the shoulder here. We got John's Comics with Kids. He just joined the chat, and
hey, shout out.
I'm probably gonna get to see him in person
Oh,
next Monday. I'm gonna be in San Diego.
oh, that's
And,
cool.
yeah, we might connect a little bit. So yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, that's like yeah, like when I buy okay, like when I buy, like I said, when I buy a low grade book, like I analyze the crap out of that book before I buy it, because like I am, like I said, guys, I have on admission. I even told King of the Golden State, and he thought it was kind of a cool idea that I'm getting like as many like low graded books, like 1.5s, 1.8s, or whatever, and like as soon as I get them all, like, and I'm not talking about like just like oh these books are like I'm talking about like I want them all to be like like when I put them on Instagram and it's gonna be on a show off Sunday, you'll see it eventually when I get done with it. It'll be ridiculous. Now just to prove to people that low grade can show and present well.
Oh yeah. So I got this one from Comics NYC in an auction recently. It's a 4.5 of Teen Titans #1.
Yes, first issue.
Yeah, and I think it's like their fourth appearance in a comic book. But yeah, man, and this one, when I bought this one, and I was Dee Runk Comics that night. Like, holy, like I had an Instagram post that night where I was wearing some kind of crazy mask or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you
Yeah,
did do that.
I don't know what happened that night, but and then the other
You said
book that
you were waiting to eat something or something like
yeah, I
that.
was waiting for the pizza to come by. I was over at my friend's house. We're drinking and playing quarters, and yeah, and man, like, and all of a sudden, like, I'm like, oh, YouTube auction. Like, yeah, I should know better. Like, it's like you don't drive, you shouldn't YouTube either, But yeah, that it was fun though. I'm glad I got the book, and I
Oh
got it
yeah.
for a good deal. So
Yeah, that's like yeah, doing auctions like yeah, when you're drinking, yeah, sometimes you have the remorse and sometimes you're like, man, I did good.
yeah, I wasn't mad that I got it. It could have been a lot worse because like there was a couple times where it's like no, I'm gonna outbid this one. I don't care.
Who that said you outbid him on that one?
Oh, hey man, you were outbid. You were. I was wildly drunk. Yeah, you may have got me had I had a few less beers that night. Hey, I got a cheers from Discovery Bay. Thank you, my friend. Cheers to you.
So this is my son's grill. I know this is like what's your grills, but this is I like to show my son's grill because he is always like this. Like I always say, he's a diehard Dick Ryder fan, and he doesn't like Sam Alexander. So if they make a Nova movie or bring Nova into the MCU, and my son says, and if it's not Dick Ryder, we're not going. Like right now, all right. Like this is how like hardcore my sons are. Do you know? All right, the Spider-Man movies, all right.
Yeah,
So my kids are like, waste of time. I was like, what? What do you mean waste of time? We don't want to go see it? Nah. I was like, why not? I was like, we're waiting for the other stuff to happen because Spider-Man, eh. I was like, what do you mean? Not my Spider-Man. I was like, I was like, who's your Spider-Man? Tobey Maguire. I was like, that's my son. Because I'm sorry, they were raised up with me watching Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Then when the Garfield kid came out, I couldn't stand it, man. So I was like, I never like we watched them, but it was like swallowing a bitter pill. And like some people liked it, I didn't. I liked Garfield as Spider Man, but
he
I
was
didn't like him.
fantastic. Yeah.
I didn't believe him as Peter Parker because he was just like too cool. Like
Oh no, he would
yeah,
have been. He wouldn't. No one would have picked on him. The most likable and witty dude in school. Like
yeah,
he would have been
yeah.
super popular. No,
Yeah, yeah, that's why I didn't buy it. I was like, no, I don't buy him as Peter Parker. I buy him as Spider Man because he was doing the jokes and the flips and all that stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
cool, I buy that. But like and so like that was my reason why I didn't like the Garfield one. And so and Tom Holland it- like nothing against Tom Holland, like he's doing a great job. And but to me it's like I don't know. I just I always go back to Tobey Maguire being Spider Man. But then like the funniest part was like three, like, and a lot of people don't know, it's like three was so bad, but it was so good. And 3 made more money than any of the Spider-Man movies except for
Yeah,
the ones coming out now.
yeah.
Some people are like, "What?" Yes, 3, the cheesy 3 with the bad Venom and like
Uh,
the dancing Peter Parker, and the that made more money than any other Spider-Man movie except for the current ones coming out now.
that
But
was such. I was so pumped for that movie too.
yeah,
Like the X-Men: The Last Stand and Spider-Man 3 are two movies that broke my freaking heart. You
oh
know,
yeah. Well, the X-Men is because they switched directors. Because like, what was it? Bryan Singer switched with it was like the Rush Hour dude switched with the Superman guy or something, and it screwed it all up. I don't remember what it was. It was like something like
Brett,
that happened.
Brett Ratner.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
it,
yeah. Rush Hour.
it,
Yeah.
it was fantastic because Bryan Singer leaving X-Men 3, and then he went to direct Superman Returns. So he inadvertently ruined two movies
Yeah.
that I was
Yeah.
so passionate about.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
but yeah, this is my son's book. I got it from my buddy's shop as a gift for my son. He just gave it to my son because my son likes Nova, and we sent it into CGC, and it came back a 6.5, and
um,
newsstand, and he loves this character. He loves this book, and I think the reason he loves the character so much is because like just me being a fan of the character when I was younger. So it was like I like the character, and then like so he enjoys the character. He likes him, Moon Knight. He only has like a certain few characters that he likes, and then like he's like the other ones are buns, and and like if you don't know what that means, like all right, my buddies are from New York, and I don't know if a lot of people know, but like I was like like they were like one time like that's the buns. I was like what's the buns, dude? And it's like saying that person's ass. You know? So yeah. So my son would be like, "Oh, that's the buns. That's that. No, that's the buns. That dude sucks." So he only likes like certain characters, but like that, like Nova, like I said, that's one of his, and that's like one. He said if it's Sam Alexander, don't even bother.
yeah. Well, and that's a real fear too, because with Ant-Man, they went right to uh, Lang as Ant-Man, instead of the original. So yeah, that
Hmm.
can it's tough.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that was like a lot of people had some grudge, but like all right, that was like I think the reason why Age of Ultron is kind of like the redheaded stepchild or the bastard of the Avengers movies is because like and we all know in the comics that Hank Pym made
yeah,
Ultron or whatever, so we all know that. So that kind of like right there was like kind of a thing where it was like okay, you have Bruce Banner or the Hulk and Iron Man making basically Ultron. So it's
yeah.
like, but we all know it's supposed to be Hank Pym. So that to me was like kind of like where that was like one of those ones where they kind of just like kind of scrambled to like, okay, well we know this is not in the continuity, but we'll just do this. So I don't know, but like that, I think that's why that movie didn't do as good as it should have done because like we all as comic book collectors and story, we all know the story that's not how it went down. So and
Well,
that
and from the hardest thing for me to swallow about that movie is, you know, the heroes, like obviously, Pym made Ultron in the comic books, but you know, Iron Man and Hulk making Ultron, like that was a really, really big mistake. I mean, Sokovia, R.I.P. Sokovia. Like we're talking about thousands of people gone in that incident. Like they don't show them all getting killed in that movie, but there's no way you can lift a city up that like that. And oh man, that was a tough one. This is one of my favorite books I like to show here. Classic George Perez cover,
oh yes,
Superman holding Cap shield and Thor's hammer. Like,
another worthy person.
oh man. And he was only worthy in the moment. Like that gets explained in the book. But yeah, that when I saw this one, like I was like, oh, this was an eBay auction, and I stayed around until the last second to make sure that when the
Oh
clock
yeah, you
ticked
have
away,
to. You
yeah,
have to. Because that's like the last eBay auction I did, right? Like, because I'm a firm believer in, and if you're eBay doing the auction, double down. And if you don't know what the heck double down means, is you put your bid in, and if they don't jump, where you have to keep pushing like bid, where you have to keep going up, if you put your bid in and it like lets you just like you're the top bid, okay, you're the top bid right then. So if you have a certain amount that you just like, okay, well, I want this book, so I'm gonna, the current bid's like $100, but I really want this book, so I'm gonna say, the most I'll spend on it is like 220. So bam, you already got the high bid, but then you double down on, saying I'm putting in another bid of 220 over myself. So that way, if anybody bids up higher than my current bid, then bam, I might still get it. So that's a double down.
No, but that's the way you do it though.
Yeah.
You're trying. You first you stay within your budget. You make sure that hey, I'm willing to pay at least this much for it. And a lot of times you get it for less, which is really cool. And
Oh
other
yeah.
times, sometimes you get outbid. And,
Yeah, you're sick. I've been like 2 times I've been sick about a book, getting like losing a book. Like, oh man. But like, all right. So Avengers 12 to me is like a book now since the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's gonna mean something in, I guess, collecting now. And this book right here, I guess, to me, as it meant something to me as a Captain America fan before the cinematic universe or whatever. It always meant something to me, and I guess it means more now because it's ridiculous price now if you go look at them. But Thor 390, and Cap lifts the hammer, and like that to me, like, I don't know, like, I feel like those are books that are, I guess, because of the movies, are going to be like having like a little staying power. But I'm not saying like they're going to be like, oh, those are grails, but like, to be like, those would be like recognized like key issues basically.
and for me, like I don't know if you read that one, but I actually really like that book. Like it's
Yeah,
a fun
yeah,
one issue hitter, and it's just a good story. And Captain America goes just by the captain in that book.
yeah.
So he's not. He's wearing that U.S. agent costume.
That's
It,
like my favorite Cap costume though, is the U.S. agent costume. Like,
dude,
and there's
it's
talks
a
of
'90s costume.
yeah.
It's so amazing.
So like when people are like, oh, I like black suit, I like uh black suit Spider Man. I'm like, yeah, I like black suit Cap, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, black suit Cap, the Cap. It's the same thing.
The
'Cause,
cap.
like, yeah, and so like that,
He
like,
was the captain before Tom Hanks.
oh yeah, yeah, and like there's talks of because like what is it? They're supposed to be doing what the Winter Soldier and like was it like Sam Wilson
Yeah,
and the Winter
Falcon and
Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
And like there's talks of the U.S. agent is supposed to be there, so like there's what speculation on his first appearance or Cap's first appearance as U.S. agent or whatever.
Yeah,
So that one book where it's like Captain America and it's the U.S. agent or whatever, this costume or whatever, and the guy's punching the Captain America thing, and it's like that book or whatever. That's the one.
yeah.
So if you see it, it's probably still in dollar bin books. I'd say like if you see
Oh
it,
yeah.
get it or whatever. But like that's one they were talking about because of like that show or whatever. But I like it because I'm a Captain America fan.
So Biggie is insisting that I show off all of my '90s books,
Yes.
and I will not apologize for my '90s books. So yeah, I got my X-Men Alpha #1 at a 9.8. I love that book. It's probably one of my favorite comic book covers ever.
Now is the artist Matsuda?
No, this is
Who is that? Who's the artist?
um Joe Madriera.
Yeah, I thought the story was him. I can't remember. Like him
Yeah,
and because his art style is like so like you can just see it.
oh yeah, no, it's just I love the way he drew X-Men. Like a great team artist.
Yeah.
Not every artist can do team books.
I'll show
Um,
you. I'll show you a great team artist. My boy Bagley.
yes,
New Warriors
absolutely.
1. Yes, signed by Stan Lee and
So
Mark Bagley. But yeah, and it's a homage, and like a lot of people don't realize this. It's a homage to Giant Size X Men,
yeah,
and you can actually see it. I think X Men right there. Like, yeah. But like,
so
yeah,
my favorite Bagley book is this guy right here. We got that signed by Bagley, and it's Scarlet Spider #1. Yeah, got that one signed by Bagley at a convention recently, and I'm, you know, for me, my favorite Spider-Man is Ben Riley. So I, I, I when you take me like I don't get me wrong, I love Peter Parker just fine, but I someday I want to see the Clone Saga get done right in a movie. I think that would be
Man, like I remember when that came out. Like I was in like school and like it came out. Um, and what was that one that came out too? But like that came out and like I thought it was gonna be like a quick little saga, you know, like a little
yeah.
quick couple. Oh no!
They
Oh, it got to the point where I was like, "Who's Spider Man? Like, who am I reading? Like, is this Peter?"
no it they recently a couple years ago they re-released the Clone Saga the way it was originally intended to be released, which was a lot of fun. You know, having followed the original Clone Saga, reading through the original idea for the story was a lot of fun. And but yeah, Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, that that's my dude for days. And I got this is one of my grails, and no one talks about this book, and I don't care. I love the X-Men animated series cartoon so much. Having
Yeah,
the X-Men Adventures comic book in a slab.
yeah, that's cool. And it's a 9/8. Yeah, that should
Oh,
be like a talked about book because that's everybody. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody just heard the song in their head when they seen that book. Dun, 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 dun.
oh yeah,
That is like one of the most iconic themes. So it's like one of those ones where it's just like you could be walking somewhere and like you could hear somebody driving by playing it and you know what it is. It's
oh
like
yeah. No, and then uh, the Mask of the Phantasm, the Batman animated series adaptation, got that in a 9/8. Love this book,
and
and
they've been
this is
talking
one.
about that. They've been talking about the Phantasm dude or whatever.
Yeah, no. So this is a book that's gone up recently, and I'm gonna. Kevin Conroy is coming to a convention uh, in my in my town in November, and CGC is going to be there, and dude, I'm going to get this book signed by Kevin Conroy, no matter what it takes.
Oh yeah. See,
And
those,
my grand master plan, I shouldn't even say it, but whatever. I don't care. I'm going to just break the bank. I want to pay him to say, "Shut up, Robin. I'm watching Dee Runk Comics," and I'm gonna dub it over some animated series thing, and
oh,
like,
that'd be hilarious.
yeah, that's my plan. I doubt it'll work out, but I know I could get the. I'm gonna ask for the autograph first, and then I'll lead into the, you
Yeah,
know,
see if you can get that.
the
Hey, you never know until you ask. Hey, shout out to my buddy Alex, to AML, and then who else came in? Goat99, what's up? Who that? John's Comics with Kids. They said they want us to show some '90s crime. The '90s crime they want to see. Like, man,
yeah.
I could show that one book that like. Oh, let me. All right, like, can you hey, show them some books for a second, Runk? I'm about to go over here and see if I can find this Chrome book that I have that I've showed like one time that I went up against the mighty Comics with Bueller with, and we went to a stalemate. I believe it was a stalemate. But I gave the win to Bueller, but like it was a stalemate because
All
everybody said that I don't know. We'll see, but I'll show. Let me see if I can find it. Hey,
right.
Thomas Churchill, what's up, bro?
So while he's showing that, I got my sensational Spider-Man #0, which I love for a couple reasons. It's got Ben Reilly becomes Spider-Man in this book, and it's done by my good friend Dan Jurgens. Um, and it actually led to a lot of turmoil with his time at Marvel because he was excited to write a Spider-Man book, and then all of a sudden it got dumped into his lap that he's going to be writing Ben Reilly, and then he had different ideas for how they should start wrapping up the Clone Saga, and no one listened to him at all. And he wound up resigning over Ben Reilly, which is too bad because I love Dan Jurgens and I love Ben Reilly. I wish it hadn't caused so much turmoil, but it's one of the lenticular covers that it lenticulates better when we're not dealing with the glare of the overhead lights that I got in here. But that's a fun book that I got recently. Another one that I'm really pumped about. I unboxed this one on my channel the other day. Got my Spider-Man and Batman crossover book. Another book done by Mark Bagley. Got that in a 9.8 CGC. Beautiful book. They team up against Carnage and Joker in this book, and it's a really cool story. So who's up? Welcome to the Thunder Chrome. You got that right, Biggie Shag. I got some more Chromium books here too. Yeah, I got a lot of shiny books, man. I tend to get a little nuts with my shiny books. I showed that 9/8 X-Men Alpha. Recently got a 9/6 with the gold prism variant cover, which is just one of my favorite covers of all time. It really kills me that this one didn't come back in a 9/8, but still beautiful, beautiful cover there. And then I had X-Men Omega, which was the conclusion to the Age of Apocalypse storyline from the 90s. And that is a John Romita cover. And just, I love this story, though, in this book. I just like how that ended. Kind of wonder how far Tony had to go to get his book there. He must be in his like third long box now, going, where the fuck is this book?
Sure am.
Oh, he's got his headset. I forgot about that. Yeah, so his headset he's wearing, he can go anywhere in the house. He's wireless now. He can't be controlled by wires. All right. So this one ain't a slab or anything, but this is another Batman Spider-Man crossover. Not the good one in my opinion. The good one was the one done by Mark Bagley, but
Yeah, so I could not find it, but
wow.
I had like 2 more long boxes. Probably I could go through, probably 3. But I know I had it somewhere. But I did find the book that we were talking about a second ago, which is
The rape book.
yes, Avengers 200.
And there's a kids Toys R Us
Yeah,
shopping spree ad at the
yes,
top of it.
on this book. Yes, that's crazy. So yeah, and this one is like I said, yeah, because on the cover right here, it's signed by the inker Austin. So you can see right there, he signed it right there. It's signed by him, Austin, and then like you can see where is it at? His actual name is like right there, and then like he signed it like right there. Though. So the inker signed it on the front, and then let me see what's on the inside here. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, and this is the inside. So there's the first couple pages, but like on the bottom right there, George Fred signed it. And like when I bought the book, I didn't even know it was signed by George Fred until I opened it. So, and I didn't know it was signed by the inker on the cover until like I looked at it thoroughly. I was like, "Isn't that the inker's name?" And it was like, "Yeah." And it's a newsstand. So yeah, it's like I don't know. Let me see if it's like it's a weird story, man. Like
No, I don't have the book, but I'm very familiar with the story, and that
yeah,
there's it's so weird. Like you wonder what their quality control was like back then. Like
yeah, because like this is
did
like this.
anyone have to read that before it went to press? And no one scratched their head and went,
Because like, look,
"That's
she has
true."
like she has like this baby, and then like the baby is the the daddy. So I don't even know how to explain that. So
Yeah.
and it's weird. I don't know. It's weird, but like that was like one of and this I got from my buddy Black House Comics, and this is the animation cell from the actual Spider-Man show itself. So it's like so I was like that was kind of a cool deal to have.
Oh,
So yeah. So
here goes another radical '90s comic book. Got Sabretooth in the Red Zone, chromium cover, one shot story, and it's after Wolverine popped him with the middle claw right through the brain, and he was rehabbing in the Xavier Institute. Here's where he broke out, and the X Men had to go chase him down. It's a nice wraparound cover.
oh, your sound's kind of like I think you're like check your mic real quick. I think it's gonna cut it
Test
out for.
1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's like kind of weird though.
All right, let me.
He's the only one on the census.
It might be.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
You can hear me now?
Hey, look, yeah, you hear you good. Yeah. Hey,
All
Steven
right.
Spot. So yeah, and then yeah. So is that the only one on the census?
No, it's actually not. I looked. But for me, man, like it's a book that I loved as a kid, and just being able to get it slabbed and whatnot, and I know you don't see a lot of these floating around in slabs, so it's not worth anything, other than to me. But yeah, I did a big CGC submission like the other day where I just sent off like a ton of books, like
But to
probably
me,
about.
but to me, that's like when you send books that you like, that's what it's about. It's not like oh, the value of the book, is not worth slabbing. It's like if it's something to you, then yeah, it's worth slabbing. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
even.
I've never sent a book in to get slabbed that I wanted to sell, and not that I can't be bought, like everyone's got a price, but for me, man, that like if I'm sending it in, it's because I liked it and I wanted to
Exactly.
to get it slabbed, and every time I bought a book based off of speculation and it has nothing to do with my personal interest in comic books, it's always a purchase that I regret. Now, there are spec books that line up with my interests, and that can be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that's like with like the Captain Marvel, Captain America, all this. Like, yeah, I was like way ahead of the curve. I thought it was just funny. I was like, yo, this is stuff that if you like it is like that's where collecting differs. Like because like I'm a Captain America fan, Captain Marvel fan. Like you like Spider Man, Superman. So like anything Superman comes out, you're already you're ready to go.
Yeah, we got my Wolverine #1 in 9/6 signed by Claremont. You'll never be able to see the signature. It is hidden all under all these dead bodies down here. But yeah, and I love the back cover to it too, man. Like
Yeah.
such, usually they like to throw an ad on the back of the these books, and this one, oh God, this one's got some of them Newton rings. So holy shit. So those Newton rings where you press on them and they move.
They call it the rainbow jizz or whatever.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna
I'm gonna show. I did find a '90s book for everybody though, and it's got
yeah.
Chrome on it. So this book, I'm sending it probably to EGS because I want to get the signature verified. Jim Valentino, Shadowhawk #1. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, he's got a clean signature, man. Like I love Shadowhawk. Like that's like it was like to me like wasn't he like the first superhero that was like had full like AIDS or whatever, like was straight up had AIDS.
yeah, no, it wasn't even HIV anymore. It was just
Like full blown AIDS, wasn't it? Like
yeah.
this was,
But that those covers from those independent titles back then were just they never disappointed. Like
oh no, they didn't. And it's like I always liked them.
this is another one of those books that probably doesn't mean a lot to anyone, but I was just happy to go get it slabbed, and that's my What If the Hulk had killed Wolverine, and it's a shiny foil cover. Only got a 9.4 on the grade, but just out of my personal collection, and I'd read it enough times where I felt good putting it in a case to never read again. So
Oh yeah, like do you remember the what was it, the Ultimates? Like when like oh no, that was like the Ultimates when they fought on that one, and then like he like ripped Wolverine in half and threw like one part of his body somewhere, and the other
oh yeah,
part, and he had to crawl to get.
yeah. In this book, I think he just like he punches him so hard he like breaks a vertebrae in his neck, and
Oh,
because it's like adamantium, it can't
heal.
heal. Yeah, and it's not good though because the effects of that are Wolverine cannot be there to help save the world later on in the book, and
Oh, so it
And
goes on beyond that or whatever. So
yeah,
that's
like
kind of cool.
so the fight is like the first couple pages, and but yeah, this is like what if number 50, and but
I
yeah,
like
just
what ifs though. That's
oh,
like
well,
a
it's a guaranteed one issue story. First of all, which is always nice knowing that you don't need to buy. It's not like a
speaking of
crossover.
speaking of Hulk and Wolverine,
Oh,
the much debated is it or isn't it the first or whatever they want to say or whatever. But you never know. But like I don't know. Like my sons are always like, nope, it's not. And I told him I was like, but like at the end of it, you can see he's like full, and he says something. He says I'm the like he says I'm the Wolverine or something, and he's like fully like it's not like a shadow picture or whatever, but hey,
yeah.
so it's like you can't really argue with people, I guess. But I'm not even, it's just like one of those deals where,
Well, and it's still a very cool book to have. I mean,
oh yeah,
obviously, 181 is going to always get the most attention, but like the very first time you could ever possibly see a Wolverine, it's in 180. So,
yeah. So yeah, like what's funny is like I bought that, and I think John bought it. I think we bought it the same week or whatever, because
yeah,
like
I remember when he got that one too.
yeah, because like I think we posted it on the same day. It was the same day, I think the same week, the same day. But like John's Comics for Kids, like because like I bought it because like 181's getting ridiculous, and I was like, well, and if you look at it though, like 182 is like Chad uh MF90 MF Comics. Well, I always want to call him Y290. Y Y290. He has 182, and like 182 is going up. 182 used to be like a cheap book, and now it's like you have to pay a little bit to get that one. Just like 180, it's gone up. So
And a lot of those books go up in value because the other books, the 181 went up so high, and it still goes up. And a lot of them become unobtainable after a while.
yeah.
And so I don't know if you saw this. You might not have, but there's a dude in our community named Geeks, Drinks, and Comics where he bought um, a 2.0 181 a couple months back. It was already slabbed and it was signed by what's his name? The
Herb Trimp or Lin
no,
Wayne.
yeah, Len. And he recently threw it back over to CGC and said, "Hey, why don't you press this one and then send it back to me?" And it bumped up to a 6.5.
Are you serious,
It went from a 2.0 to a 6.5 off of
man?
one pressing from it's CCS is the name of the company that does it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you could have pressed it while keeping the signature verified. But like you hope for maybe
Like yeah,
a
what
point
like
0.5 bump or maybe a whole grade, but man, going from a 2 to a 6.5, and that was his Grail book. If you ever
man, I'm
if
gonna have
you
to
ever
look that up. Like that'd be
yeah,
a
no.
cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and it was such a surprise too. Like he's like, "Oh, hey, remember that book I got?" And he sent me a text of it. I was like, "Whoa,
That's crazy. Just to be
yeah,
like, man.
that's a couple $1,000 increase. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's nuts."
Oh, let me show you this 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 book that like gets no love. That gets the character gets no love. The book gets no love, but it's one of my favorite characters. I like the costume. I like Warpath, and I actually like him on here. This is actually X-Men '95. And it's just a 4.5. My buddy gave me this book for free, and I just sent it in and get it graded because I like Warpath, and this is it's his actual death. And like this book like has no value, but you figure it would because it's like their second team appearance, and
Yeah,
as a major death as a of a character, and like it's like you go like giant size X Men 94, and then it's like 95. And like, and you figure like with the death of a character, it's like their second appearance. Like this book would hold some kind of value, but it doesn't. I guess like if you had like a real high grade of it, it would. I guess like a 9.8 or something. But like, yeah, this is a book that I like. Just like the story. Like if it's like I did a back in the day. What was it? My channel Two for Tuesday because JD did a Two for Tuesday, but I did a thing on the character and like on his death or whatever. But like it's just a book that's like an easy one to get because it's like and it's a death of a major X-Men character. Well, at the time, because he's on Giant Size X-Men.
Well, and that was so crazy. Like it was his first appearance, and then they right away,
Yeah, like wiped him out, and then what's his name? I think what's his name quits on 94, like was it Sunfire or whatever?
Yeah.
He quits in 94. Then old boy dies in 95, and then it's just like, okay, we've cleared him out. We got everything we need.
We got rid of the minorities off the team. Like, God.
Oh man, but yeah, that's like 95 is just like one of those ones where it's like you figured it would be like more valuable than what it is because like you figure they introduced this character in Giant Size X-Men. He's on the cover, and then like he's in 90, he's in 94, and then like he just dies in 95, and it's like okay, never mind.
I liked him in the X-Men Days of Future Past movie. I thought he was done pretty well in that movie.
Oh yeah. I like the Sunspot. Sunspot in that movie was cool. I like how they did him. Yeah, I like how they did him. Like, except for when they were killing him off. Oh, like the worst part in that movie is when they did Colossus. You know what I'm talking about?
Where his head just gets crunched. Like,
yeah. No.
Well, and
well, like first they ripped off his arm. Remember, like they ripped one of his arms off, and I was like, oof.
Yeah, but then like he absorbs his power and he just starts, pounding on him.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Maybe you do, but Chris Claremont was in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the on like the Senate committee that was interviewing Boulevard Trask about like when Trask is trying to sell the Sentinels.
Oh yeah.
He's like, hey, you're gonna need by the time you need this, you'll have already lost your second war or whatever. He was one of the senators that was
now you're gonna make me go back and look.
Yeah, you're gonna have to check it out. And he did pretty well. I mean, it wasn't he had a speaking line and everything. So which is crazy. Just only fair to let Claremont in your Days of Future Past movie, but
oh, what was that one? Oh, what? Oh, you showed like. Let me show this one. I've never showed this one. I don't think. This is signed by Chris Claremont, but I don't think I've ever showed that one really. But,
oh hell yeah!
Yeah, 7.0. I took that to C2E2 and got it signed. I was like, but like I bet if I pressed it, like if I had it pressed, I could already see. Like if I had it pressed and clean, it would get like a grade bump. But
yeah. So when I was at Planet Comic Con, I got to meet JP Budget Collect. He was there. I got to meet JD. He was there.
JD's awesome.
Oh yeah, he was a great dude. I got to see his little Comic Core microphone, which was pretty cool. And then Burke Family 54 Comics, aka Burke Nasty, hashtag Stay Nasty. He was there. And he had that book that you just had, the original Wolverine miniseries.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And Chris Claremont was there, and doing his autographs and whatnot. And he decided against getting it signed, and he went with the first appearance of Jessica Cruz instead.
What?
Bert, yeah, no.
Bert, tell me you didn't do it.
Which I'll tell you this, and I told him this because like later on he was like kicking himself. He's like, like I felt pressure and I didn't, and whatever. I did tell him like that first issue of Wolverine is probably not gonna spike exponentially.
Oh no!
At any point, it's a great book to get signed and slabbed, but that first Jessica Cruz has a much higher ceiling if they can ever, get her in a live action movie someday.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's a speculative investment, I would say. So
Well, this is the only X-Men spec that I've got so far that I was like had to get it, but this is like because I know they have to do them again. Like I know they have to but this is my X-Men 4, and second appearance of Magneto, first appearance of Scarlet Witch, first appearance of Quicksilver, first appearance of Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
I've got it somewhere, and I've got too many boxes to dig through to try and find it right now. But I won X-Men number 14. Biggie was talking about it in here. The first appearance of the Sentinels.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's a key book too.
and just that Geek Strengths and Comics that I was telling you about, where he got that huge bump on Hulk 181. It was a giveaway contest and video, and I was like, I felt terrible winning it. He only had 3 entrants in his
Oh
giveaway
wow.
contest, but he was happy about it because he did it. He wanted it to be a surprise contest, like most people watched his video and then clicked off of it, and I stayed all the way through the credits. And yeah, man, like then he was like giveaway time, and yeah, I was one
That's
of 3
cool.
people, and he had 2 choices. One was X-Men 14, and the other one was Nova number 1. And I feel
Anything?
I don't have Nova number 1, but I think it'd be easier for me to find that one than it would be X-Men 14. So
Yeah. Shout out to King of the Golden State. What's up, bro? Yeah,
yeah,
like yeah, that's why like I haven't got X-Men number 1 yet. So this is as close as I've gotten so far, which is 4. So it's like my lowest. Like this is actually my lowest X-Men book that I have, and so like I don't know, like like I'm a big like out of all the villains, like Magneto's like my favorite villain. So it's like
but is he even a villain?
to me, not really. Like to me, he's like all right, because I always like the way that Stan Lee put it was like he always felt like it was like Martin Luther King was like like was Xavier, and then like Malcolm X was kind of like Magneto, and it was just like by any means necessary was like like that's how Magneto is. Like I'll get it done by any means. I'll protect my people. I'll get it done. And like
Mhm.
I liked like just how he was like, and for real like this like and if the best part about Magneto that I like is like this story right here. Like this God loves
Yeah,
mankind. Dude, that opening scene in this book where he's like, picking up those dead kids that are and his eyes are just kids, and to like, like you're reading the story like they're dead mutants or whatever, but like,
yeah.
to him, and it's like, so it's like he's like one of those guys that's like he's doing it for a reason, but he's doing it for on his own ground. He's doing it like he wants to do it how he wants to do it. So that's
Well, it's
why,
not just how he wants to do it. He thinks it's necessary.
yeah, yeah,
He's not just sitting back on a throne laughing hysterically, talking about ruling the world. He
yeah.
thinks that him and everyone that's in his kind is in danger,
Oh yeah.
and he thinks that it's that's the only way to do it. And like he's one of my all-time favorite comic book characters, and he's one of the reasons why we talked about it at the beginning. It's both of our holy grail. X-Men number 1. It's the first appearance of Magneto.
Yeah.
And it's first appearance of Xavier and Cyclops, Beast and Angel and
Okay,
Marvel Girl.
let me tell you this. Okay, so like my son that sometimes shows up on the show or on
Yeah.
my videos, my youngest son. Okay, so his name is Jordan. His middle name is Xavier. So don't ask why his middle name is Xavier. Just know. It was like so yeah, and then like my oldest son, his name is Hunter, but that's after Triple H, the wrestler.
Who?
Triple yeah,
Yeah.
my oldest son is named after Triple H. Believe it or not, yes, he's named because Dwayne doesn't sound cool, so I couldn't go with Dwayne. And I was like, and I was like, my wife, my kid mom at the time wasn't going with The Rock, so I was like, okay, well, what about Hunter? so, so Hunter Bishop Sanders.
You should have named him Scott after Scott Steiner.
Man, Big Papa Pug.
Oh shit!
Hey, I'm just gonna take the. I'm trying to put this thing on,
It's
and I'm all
alright.
fucked up right now. I dropped my phone. I dropped everything. You know, and this. Hold on. Technical difficulties. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's alright. So yeah, I bought the X-Men 4 because like yeah, X-Men books are getting ridiculous right now. So and like X-Men 1, oh man, like yeah, I got to get one, but it's like yeah, I would have had one this year already, but yeah, like I said, I had to do the air conditioning thing, which that was a high priority. So like the wife had to be happy, so the kids, it's not fun having books and you're in the heat. So let me, yeah, like John, yeah, John Thomas with kids, yeah, we do have a lot of grails in common. John's like, yes, yeah, we are grail buddies, John. We have a lot of books in common, a lot of books.
All right, we are back in action.
Oh,
Big Papa Runk. So
big,
the funny thing I was gonna say is like, so my wife saw this thing the other day,
uh,
and she goes, "What is that silver thing?" And I was like, the Big Papa Runk thing I was telling you about, and like, it's like she'd found a dead hooker in my car. She was, she wasn't even mad. She was just disappointed in me. She like shook her head and this, like, you could see like the wheels in her own head were turning, that she was contemplating decisions that she has made, and it's how
uh,
it goes down sometimes, but Big Papa Runk, he is your hookup. Holler if you hear
exactly.
me.
Like what's funny is like I said, my wife enjoys what I do with the tone, and my kids hate it. My wife loves it. My neighbor loves it. My dad loves it. Like it's just like I said, it's just being a jerk turned up to like 11, but like not being like really like a jerk all the way, but like just like talking the talk and walking the walk at the same time.
Oh, and my wife is culpable though, because you know it, you could see that there was it happened on the Mega Power Hour where I sent 84 and A-OK,
Hmm.
and my wife hand wrote the note, and it was quote unquote from Miss Elizabeth. And I was saying that she was, living with me now, and she's talking about how much she loves doing dishes and videotaping Big Papa Runk as he hooks up with other ladies, and um, you
Oh
know,
man,
and
that'd be
and I was
good.
typing it out, and I printed it. She's like, "What's that?" And she's like, "That would be so much better if it was written by an actual girl with girl handwriting and all that." She grabbed a pink pen and just made sure it looked extra girly. It was absolutely beautiful. So she's played along in this whole game before, too. So
Oh yeah, that's always fun. So yeah, we're gonna shut it down for. Do you have anything coming up?
you know, probably tomorrow I got gonna pop open a couple of that Spider-Man booth boxes, and I've still got like 9 books coming back from CGC. That these are ones that I wanted to press to seal in that extra 9.8 flavor. Um, so, but that's probably a couple weeks away. But I don't know. Whenever I feel like I have something to talk about or something to do, I will come on and do a video. Guaranteed almost every Wednesday, and then occasionally on the weekends. So,
Heck yeah. Well,
how about you? You got anything? What do you do on Friday nights normally?
Friday nights normally like we usually do the hunt, but like I'm about to get the guys together here in a minute. When we get off here, we're about to get together and see what we're gonna do. Like, because we're gonna see if we're gonna do tomorrow or if we're gonna do it on the regular schedule. But we will figure out what we're gonna do. There might be the hunt tomorrow. There might not be. It depends on how many contenders we can get in and see what we're doing on the lineup here.
Right
So,
on.
but this has been What's Your Grails. You guys have a great night. Dee Runk, thank you for coming on, man, and I had a great time with you, man.
Thanks for the invite, man.